Good day to you too. I'm so excited to be here. I flew all the way from New York to see
Oh,
you.
all right. We came all the way from Essathani.
Yes.
You should see our frequent flyer mileage.
How do you know that what I'm thinking about? I am trying very hard.
Don't try so hard.
Yes.
Relax, relax.
Thank you.
We're here to have fun, yes?
Yes.
All right.
So I have 3 topics to discuss with you.
All right.
The first one is my participation with the hybrid children agenda.
Yes.
And the second one is my connection with the Orion and the Egyptian.
Yes.
And the third is the current physical reality experiences.
Yes. All right. We'll begin however you wish.
Thank you. So, a corny question, how many children do
Corny?
I have? Yes.
Your question is full of corn.
That many?
Is that what makes this a pop quiz?
So how many of
Some
them
of you got
popped?
it. This is a relatively open-ended question because it determines the idea based on how much of your genetic material might be in any given hybrid child. It's spread pretty thin over the entire hybridization program. There are some that have more, there are some that have less. So at what point and at what percentage do you determine that they are, quote unquote, your child?
As you mentioned, 35%. How many of them?
35% is what you're going for? About 10.
Wow. Not bad. So, do I have any implants?
Not in the way that you mean it. That technology has shifted, has changed. Mm-hmm. You can be kept track of, but it's not through the idea of a solid implant anymore. It's through a slight adjustment of your DNA that gives off a frequency that can be tracked.
Yes. So I'm so grateful that we have this Sedona event last year. So I've been given a different ability to perceive the ships.
All right.
So one day I look up the sky in front of, New York sky, and all of a sudden I saw all the stars started moving back and forth.
Yes.
And it turns out that they're all ships.
No, they're not.
No?
No.
So how come they move back and forth like so drastically?
Because you are penetrating into other dimensions that are out of alignment with yours.
Wow.
Do you understand? Some of them may have been ships, but most of what you experience is the idea of an overlap from one reality to another, and maybe more than two. And when you start doing that, you realize that some parallel versions of your reality are not exactly in the same place that the things in your reality are in. Therefore, you might see them shift back and forth, like you do when you use one eye and then the other eye and then one eye and then the other eye, and things shift back and forth. It's because of the parallax and the perspective of shifting back and forth between one dimension and another dimension.
So in other words, I'm actually seeing through the dimension instead.
Yes.
Wow.
Again, it might contain some ships here and there,
I see.
because there are many ships coming and going, and that's fine. But we're describing most of what you experienced.
I see. And so
Yes.
there's an orange ship, I assume. I guess it's Arcturus.
It can be connected to the Arcturus gate. Doesn't always have to be, but it can be.
So how come it's in color orange?
It represents a certain frequency of energy. And it's connected to certain things, certain links, certain energy frequencies that represent an alignment, so that you can emotionally remember who you are.
Mm-hmm. So the third question is my connection with the gray. I feel like I'm so connected to them, and they show me their version of Earth, and that just break me into tear, and
Yes.
it's just getting very, very emotional.
All right. So you have that connection. You've made that connection to that experience in the parallel reality that the grays come from, having mutated themselves from human form into the present form you know as the gray. And you have made a connection in a way that allows you to experience the emotion they experienced in letting go of their emotions. in order to accomplish the hybridization agenda.
And I feel like they have lost the ability to express their own emotions. So
Yes, but
they did
that's
that
what the
for me.
hybrids are for,
I see.
because the grays will die out. There is no longer a need for them to express themselves that way because it's the hybrids that carry on their culture.
I see.
That's why the hybridization program is happening, as well as allowing your version of Earth to also evolve into the sixth hybrid race so that you don't have to walk down the same path that they did. So it's for them and it's for you.
Wow.
Oh, well said.
So I also have connection to Epiphany, and he show himself in my dream.
Epiphany.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Epiphany is not a he.
Oh, so
It's an artificial intelligence
That's right.
that's connected to our world. It doesn't have a gender.
When he was in quote unquote human form in the dream.
No. You're
Yeah.
just saying that's the way it symbolized itself.
I see.
That's not what it is. It will come in whatever way it needs to come as a symbol so that you can make sense out of the interaction. But eclipse, epsilon, and epiphany are three giant 75-mile in diameter spheres that orbit our planet that are artificially intelligent and help stabilize our world.
That's correct.
I know. That's why I said
The second topic is my Orion energy.
yes, you have Orion connections.
And it's quite heavy. And so
All right, but it's all about transforming the heaviness into lightness, the darkness into light. Yes, the negative into positive. That's why you're making the connection, to draw upon that so that you have a very strong transformational experience.
yes.
Yes?
So I did the exercise from the Contact 101
All right.
transmission.
All right.
And I figure out that my signature vibration looks like a chicken leg, like chicken finger. So a few
Your
days
signature
down,
vibration looks like a chicken leg. Is that what
Yeah,
you said?
it's very
We're making
odd.
sure that that translated on our side correctly.
yes, it's very odd. And it's chicken finger like that. It's very odd. So a few days later,
Do chickens have fingers?
some body parts.
Yes. All right.
So a few days down the road, I have a very weird dream. As you mentioned before, I have connection to Anubis as well.
Yes.
So Anubis came in my dream, but he's very ferocious.
Can be.
And I
Not
was
that he actually is, but it can be experienced that way.
so I was very surprised because for that transmission, supposedly I should like discover myself and then maybe apply for a job on the ship.
Apply for a job on a ship.
Yes, and then I don't know why I got recruited by Anubis, and I was like, that's weird.
Because it's revealing a connection that you have made that will discover within yourself a new aspect of yourself, a new perspective of yourself if you follow that thread. It has to do with deep, deep inner definitions and belief systems. That's also why it's connected to the ancient Orion systems. It's about really rooting out, digging out what's in the underworld of your definitional psychology, of your personality structure that's holding on to anything that is out of alignment with your true self. So they're giving you an opportunity to use those energies, to use those perspectives, to use those archetypal points of view to get in touch, to know you're powerful enough to get in touch with any belief systems that are out of alignment and powerful enough to let them go and transform that energy in a positive way.
Yes.
So use it that way.
And another question about Anubis is, I remember there's one questioner mentioned that your father has connection with Anubis as well.
Yes.
So can you elaborate a little bit?
The only clue I can give you is to say, look at the first two syllables.
Ooh.
First two,
Anunnakis?
Anu.
Oh my goodness, I knew it.
Well, then why did you ask?
I just need a confirmation.
Do you? All right.
So
Well, don't be so confident about your lack of confidence.
I see. Wow. So how about the night gods during the Egyptian time? Do they have anything to do with the nine, the Council of Nine from the Saturn?
In a peripheral way, yes. But we're not going to go into that. That's another story. We
So
will deal with the idea of archetypal presentations of the collective consciousness and the faces that they present to you in another transmission coming up.
wow. So I remember you also mentioned that the first group of the TV series Star Trek, they have an ability to tap in your collective consciousness. So I assume that it's Mr. Gene Roddenberry, and he's doing the channeling business as well.
Well, in a sense, although he's not the only one, there were actually two Genes.
Oh,
Gene Roddenberry, Gene Kuhn.
I see. Wow,
So, double spiral gene.
that's very powerful.
Yes, it is. And therefore, they were able to tap into certain ideas that do exist out here and present them to you in symbolic form in the story. So it would stick. So you would start to realize that these things exist. And in presenting such things to you, create more probability for the idea of contact. Because in presenting those kinds of stories, you're already imagining what it might be like to make contact with extraterrestrial beings. You're already playing out scenarios in your imagination, and it gives you practice. Yes?
Yes.
Now, they didn't necessarily know that they were doing that consciously, but that's one of the effects, is to present the idea of first contact in a number of different ways. So,
Another question about Anubis is there any specific temple that represents its energy? So I'm planning a trip
oh,
to
well,
Egypt.
maybe,
So
I don't know, the Temple of Anubis?
is there one?
Yes, there is. Why don't you look it up?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Will that do for now?
Oh, okay. Just very quick in
Yeah.
terms of my physical reality experiences.
Yes.
Right now, I just feel kind of dizzy, and
Yes.
I know that's probably the side effect of the acceleration.
In some senses, yes, because it can be disorienting in order to allow you to reorient to a new reality. You have to unlock from one perspective to lock into another one. So yes, it can feel like you're in a little bit of a free fall, a little bit dizzy for a while. You're just changing gears, that's all.
I see. Any specific permission sleep available?
The permission slip would be the formula.
Oh.
Follow your passion to the best you can with no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to look like, and therefore you will most efficiently flow the energy through you, and that's the best way to acclimate to the new levels of energy.
Yes.
Practice, practice, practice.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Shivai.
Shivai. Aveo.
Adeo.
Aveo.
Adeo.
Ave. V. Aveo.
Aveo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aveo means thank you in our ancient language.
Hello.
And a you good day.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
The first is, what information do you have to share with us about DMT?
It is what is produced by your pineal gland that allows you more efficacy in piercing through the dimensional veils. This is why the production of dimethyltryptamine in your pineal gland happens more during your sleep phase between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. and brings about your capacity to experience the concept of the dream world more strongly, more clearly. But when you allow yourself to express more of the DMT in your waking state, it can still allow you to get into states where you can, as I said, more easily pierce the veil between dimensional realities. It's an unlocking mechanism. It's a key. mechanism, a key molecule, literally a key. Anything else?
Yes. Recently, I've been interested in blood types.
Yes.
My blood type, my daughter's blood type.
Yes.
What do you have to say about knowing your blood type as far as where you come from and having children?
Where you come from?
Yes.
In what context do you mean that? You come from Earth.
Like bloodlines.
Yes. Sometimes it can be helpful to trace those things. But remember, you all are already hybridized. You all have Anunnaki DNA in all of you. And the Anunnaki themselves were mixed, were hybridized. This is one of the reasons why you actually have so many different races on your planet. You all started out similarly, but as soon as you moved into different environments, the different extraterrestrial genetics mixing with the Homo erectus genetics within you activated in different environments to be something similar to the planets that that DNA came from. Make sense?
Yes.
So it can be of value to understand some of the genetics and the blood and the tracing of that bloodline back to the Anunnaki, although it may not necessarily be something that you can go beyond since you don't really know your own histories as clearly as you could. This is one, as we have mentioned before, of the gifts you will be given when open contact occurs. Your entire history, your entire bloodline, stretching back before Earth into the galaxy. Yes?
That's what I was getting at.
Well, that's what I just gave you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Will that do?
Yes.
Thank you.